Hey guys, welcome back to another video today. Short disclaimer, I am going to try and keep things short today um, because I am very tired. And the reason I am tired is because I got to ride on my longboard for the first time in a very long time. Um, and I've had skateboards recently, but it's just not the same. Longboarding was just something that's special to me. It's the first type of boarding I ever did, and it's kind of just like something that's just I guess always been there in the last couple years for me to just do whenever I needed something um, to get away from. So yeah, I kind of want to talk about escapism and hobbies today. I feel like I kind of spoiled that point before I got to it, but whatever. Yeah, escapism is something that's very interesting to me, and I've been thinking about it a lot again because of my longboarding today. And I feel like people think escapism has to be something that we do when something is wrong. It doesn't necessarily have to be when something is wrong. You can just do it to get away. And it's something nice to partake in just because you enjoy it. So it's just like, I mean, the things you use to escape are your hobbies. Like I know for my friends, like cooking, hiking, things like that. And it's all about this, like, kind of other world almost it takes you into. And you're kind of just in the zone, you know? It's almost like it's just you and whatever you're doing, you know. Like when I'm on my longboard, it's almost like it's just me and the longboard and the pavement, and that's it, and my music. And I feel like also a lot of people, with that said, a lot of people think that their hobby or their thing has to just like click. No, I'm not gonna lie. When I was longboarding first, I was terrible, and the reason that I get to enjoy it as much as I do now is just because I kept trying, you know. And it's like if I didn't keep trying, I wouldn't be able to experience and have this opportunity to just have like kind of a way to kind of vent everything out. You know what I mean? And for some people, that's talking to people, and that's great. Sometimes you don't need a hobby. That's another thing. Sometimes your escape is sleep, and I guess to an extent that's not great because um, I feel like that kind of leads to you kind of isolating yourself. But yeah, it's great to talk to people. I said that's another great example. It doesn't have to be a hobby. But yeah, generally speaking, I feel like a lot of the time it's a hobby. People use just because it's their thing. You know what I mean? It's something that they have gotten good at, and it's something I think that we're proud of. Um, but with that said, I think your hobby should always challenge you. You know what I mean? Longboards, it's a little more complicated. You can't really do tricks on them. Well, basic ones, but that's about it. So it's almost like, I guess in that regard, it's kind of just like when I have a day where I'm not doing well, almost like falling a lot, or just like not reaching the speed I want to, or not pushing myself as much as I want to. I kind of feel like not like I'm letting myself down, but just that I could do better. And I guess it kind of disappoints me to an extent, but I feel like that's a good thing. It's good to not do perfect every time. You know what I mean? From every failure that you have, even with your things that you're good at, you're always gonna fail, first of all, and it makes you better. It really does. I remember one week. I've always done it in my church parking lot because it's nice and wide and flat with it. Like it's kind of hilly. It's not too much of either. It's basically perfect. And for me, one week I was just falling so much. I think I fell like 5, 6 times that day, and I was scraping like my arms, everything, and I had a sweater on, and it was like still taking uh, chunks of me off basically. And obviously that didn't feel good, but at the time it was kind of like adrenaline, you know what I mean? But I really am glad that when I fell, I would get back on the board because it's kind of just like I'm not gonna let my fear, because it's normal to be scared, um, but I'm not gonna let that momentary fear stop me from doing something that I really enjoy. Like when I first was doing longboarding, again, another example, I felt so much, and it was something that really challenged me, and it took me some time to get to this place where I can enjoy it as much as I do. And to be honest, I'm proud that I put in that effort because it's kind of like if I hadn't gotten out of the part of where I was super terrible and couldn't even kick off the board, like I wouldn't be able to experience everything I do now. Um, I remember the exact moment pretty much. I remember I was going down a hill, right? With my pastor, of all people. He also skateboarded, and we were coming on this bend, right? And it was the first time that like I really felt kind of like that peace I experience a lot now when I'm longboarding. Um, it was kind of just like I felt free almost. It was like just like the wind in my hair. It was a nice warm day. It was like I was with someone I liked. You know, everything in that moment. That's even if it was just in that split second was great. And it was like that taste was something I think I just kept chasing until I am where I am today. And it's kind of like I get on that board and I'm like, let's do this. You know what I mean? Um, and like I said, it's not going to be the first time that it's your favorite thing. Like that was after I had practiced for like a couple weeks. You know what I mean? And not that it was like I was terrible the entire time of those 2 weeks, but almost like the more I kept trying, the better I got until I got to a point where I was just kind of like, this is it. You know what I mean? This is why I'm doing this. Um, and yeah, that's basically it. Just enjoy those hobbies. You know, take your time. If I could go back and practice again, I still have so much more to learn. So I guess I still am doing that. Um, but if I could go back, maybe I wouldn't go back to the very beginning. But that first moment where I felt that peace on the board means a lot to me. But the thing about it is, literally 2 seconds later, I fell over, and at first I was kind of just beating myself up about it, you know, having such a great moment and then immediately falling. I was kind of like harsh on myself, I'd say. I was kind of like, oh, I ruined it, but it wasn't. Obviously, it's not like that, but it's kind of harder in the moment to stop yourself from thinking that way. I feel like it's kind of only human, which is kind of sad, but you know, we've all been there. Um, and as long as it doesn't last, then you know. And then my pastor checks the board and he's like, "Hey, dude, the trucks are so loose on this." And the trucks are basically what holds the axle, pretty much, and you basically use them to turn too. Um, so basically, the board I was riding on was very wobbly, and it was he was like, "I'm surprised you could even ride on this." And in that moment, it was kind of like that frustration I had kind of turned into like a weird pride, where I was like, "Wow, yeah, like, I was able to ride a board that was like weird, you know, like I could do it." And I remember I ride with my left foot forward, and we call that riding goofy. I'm a lefty, so and I remember that he told me what it was called the first time, and it was just another moment of just I guess happiness. It was weird. It almost felt like it was special for me, almost. And I know it's not like I'm not trying to act like I'm like a hot shot or something, but it really did mean a lot. Like I can't express to you how much that moment really meant to me. And it was for such a weird reason too. It was just random. Like he said something completely random and it was kind of just like a dopamine spike in my brain and I don't know why. I just found it hilarious. Um yeah, I guess that's one more thing I'd say. I didn't really think about this until now, but you don't have to like escape alone. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's good to have people. Like I said, sometimes people vent to others and that's their form of escapism. More power to you. And sometimes people want to be alone, but it doesn't have to be just talking to someone. Like I remember my other friend loves playing pickleball, and obviously you can't really do that alone unless you're practicing like with one of the nets. So we play a lot, and I think that's I mean, it's becoming for me something where I kind of get tunnel vision, like kind of like I do for longboarding. Obviously, not the same passion I have for longboarding as for that, because longboarding I've been doing so much longer. It's kind of like I don't want to say in my DNA, but it's kind of just like on my mind a lot because it's like whenever I have a bad day or I just want to get out, that's something that's always there for me, and it's always been there for me in the past few years. So it again, it's not the same, but as nice as it is to be alone, it should be a mix of both. You know, you don't want to just be alone all the time. it's nice to get out with people. Go enjoy some time with your friends. Teach them your hobbies. If they're not about it, encourage them to give it a try. You know what I mean? And if they don't like it, then just it's not for everyone. You know what I mean? Like, I had a friend who wanted to learn how to longboard, and at first he was much worse than me, and trying to teach him was terrible because again I ride goofy, and everyone else I ride with was is right-handed or right dominant, I guess I'd say. Um, so yeah, it wasn't clicking super well. Um, but I was trying my best. It was one of the first times I really taught someone, and it was just like that fear kind of that I had originally. Kind of, I saw it myself in him, I guess, like that initial fear, and it was kind of just like I was able to give that type of encouragement to someone, which is something I'm very happy about because I think it's like a special privilege to get to be that person, the person who teaches someone. Um, and I like to teach. I like to teach them to do things, um, especially with something that I like. You know, getting to know friends is kind of just like learning about each other, and that means trying out each other's hobbies. I think, especially in like a romantic relationship too. Not just I'm talking about a friendship, but a romantic relationship that's like on a whole nother level. You know what I mean? Like whether you like it or not, every once in a while, just I feel like you could make some time to do what they like. Um, and I think there's something sweet about it. And basically, that's all I want to talk about. So, thank you guys for watching. This was supposed to be a short one, and it turned out to be pretty good because I kind of got carried away. But that's the point of the channel, I guess. So, thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you want. Leave a comment. Any criticisms, questions, I'm glad to answer. So, later, guys. Thank you.